In this episode, we'll be looking at how to decode the common master lock dial combination lock by feel. Hey folks, welcome to Pugs Picks Locks. If you're new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you'll always be notified when I release new content like this. And if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Click that like button, leave a comment or a question down below. I don't always get everything right, so if I get something wrong, if there's something that I could do better or differently, please let me know, because I want to learn from all of you to continue to grow my knowledge and my skill set and provide you with better and better content. So let's start with the shout out of the week. This week's shout out goes to Nathan Griffiths. As of filming this episode, Nathan sits at 200 subscribers and deserves much more. What I especially appreciate about Nathan's channel is that he has multiple videos about disc detainer locks, which I have zero experience with, but I have a ton of interest in. In fact, episode 42, he demonstrates a cutaway disc detainer lock, which I found invaluable in understanding how disc detainer locks work. So, if you're looking for examples of how to tackle disc detainers, Nathan's channel is a great resource. All right, let's dive into this week's video. There are several methods for decoding the combination for these common master lock dial combination padlocks. In the last episode, I covered a fairly complex method that was, pretty well math oriented, and which can be troublesome for many folks, including my dyscalculic self. The second method that I'm going to cover in this video is a little bit easier in that it doesn't rely so heavily on math, but it does very much rely on a sense of touch and feel for feedback from the dial, from the shackle, as you're trying to figure out each number. And that feel, that sense of touch and feel, can be a little bit subtle, and that can take some time to develop. And the newer a lock is, and the better the tolerance is that a lock has, the more subtle the feedback is. So it can definitely take a little bit of time to figure out exactly what you're feeling for and what the feedback is that you're trying to get. Okay, so I have a brand new lock here. We're gonna cut this open, and I'm not going to look at the combination, which is taped to the back of the lock. So we're going to take a look at brand spanking new lock, and hopefully we'll be able to get this open. So let me grab my scissors and how to do this. Let's just... Alright, sorry about all the noise. That's maybe really loud in your ears. Let's get the packaging out of the way. Get the scissors out of the way. Okay, so this dial turns really smoothly. This is actually feeling like the tolerances are pretty tight in this lock, so this might be a little bit of a challenge. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out the first digit of the combination, or the first number in this combination here. To do that, we're going to reset the lock, make sure the lock is fully reset by turning 3 times clockwise, not counterclockwise, 3 times clockwise. So I'm using 0 as a reference point, so that's 1, 2, 3, and one more for good measure. Okay, so we've reset the lock. We're sitting here at 0. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to apply heavy tension to the shackle. So I'm actually pulling up on the shackle, and the way I'm doing that is I'm inserting my index finger into the shackle, and then I'm wedging my thumb underneath the index finger so that I can just squeeze with my thumb and index finger to lift the shackle. Otherwise, I would be trying to tension it like this, which can get really fatiguing using just one finger to apply tension. So I'm going to apply heavy tension, and you'll notice when I apply heavy tension, it seizes the dial. The dial locks up. It totally seizes and won't turn. So still trying to turn counterclockwise. I keep saying counterclockwise. Trying to turn clockwise. We're going to relax the tension very gently. Let me do that again. I did that kind of quickly. We're going to very gently relax the tension until the dial moves. Once the dial moves, we're going to maintain that amount of tension, and we're going to turn the dial and wait for and feel for when the dial completely seizes up. You'll be able to force it past that point, like here, it's seizing. Seizing right around 38. So let's do that again, just to be sure. So that light medium tension, and let's see if it seizes in the same place again. Okay, it's definitely locking up right around 38. So if we, I can force it to 37. Yeah, I can force it to 37. So 37 is where it really is stopping. And I can actually feel the shackle pulling down on my finger here. And so that tells us that so 37 is our number. We're just going to add 5 to this. This is the only math, well, pretty much the only math you're going to do. So we're going to add 5 to 37. So 5, that's 42. There is no 40, so that's 0, 2. So that's 2. 2 is our first number. I'm going to show you another method for finding the first number in case you're having trouble finding the right amount of tension and really developing that sense of feel, that sense of touch and feel that it kind of requires. But you can actually feel the shackle pulling down when you hit the right place. The other method is to go counterclockwise. So let's reset the lock 3 times counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3. And this time we're going to apply that heavy tension, relax the tension until we can turn the dial. And once the dial starts turning, it is going to completely seize up at some point. Going counterclockwise here. All right. Okay, I was able to force it past, but that felt like it. So let's go one more and see if it does the same thing for us at the same place. Okay, so right here it's like between 28 and 29. When I release the shackle, it dropped into 28. So let's do 28. And then this time we're just going to add 13. So 28 plus 13. So 28, 38, 1, 2, 3. So that's a 1. So, wait, sorry. I totally mathed wrong. Let me do that again. Okay, so 3 times counterclockwise. And now we're going to heavy tension, relax the tension until we can turn the dial. Sorry, I told you I was dyscalculic, and you just saw it. Okay, so it's really locking up around 28 here, right? So 28, so let's go to 38, that's 10. And then another 3. 1, 2, 3. That brings us to 1 on the dial. The first method gave us 2. This method gave us 1. I will tell you that the tolerances, even with a brand new lock where the tolerances, you can expect them to be pretty good, The tolerances in these locks are actually kind of sloppy, so you can actually be within 1 or 2 of the actual number and still get the open. So 1, 2, somewhere in there. So our first number is either 1 or 2, and we'll find out which one it actually is when we flip the lock over. So next we're going to look for the third number, not the second number. We're going to look for the third number. This one is where a sense of touch and feel really comes into play. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it clockwise 3 times once again. 2, 3. 3 times to reset the lock. Now we're going to apply really heavy tension, and we're going to feel each gate. So it can wiggle. We're going to move to the next gate by relaxing the tension a little bit, and then we'll feel it pop into the next gate and do a wiggle test again. What we're doing is we're looking for the one that moves most freely and has the most play back and forth in the dial. And this is very much a feel thing. I'm actually closing my eyes as I do this. There's the next gate, wiggle test. Next gate, wiggle test. And that feels really floppy and loose as compared to the others. So that's a possibility. So 30. Let's keep going till we get back to 0 just to be sure. So keep 30 in mind. There's the next gate. Okay, this one is really has a lot of friction. This is definitely not it. Next gate. A lot of friction, not a lot, but not as much as the previous gate, but still a fair amount of friction. Same amount of friction. A little floppy, but it's not wiggling. We'll test that against the 30 that we did before. And this is bouncing actually between 16 and almost 16 and 17. So we'll come back to that. Okay, there's a lot of friction here. Almost very little play here. Keep going one more. Very little play. A lot of friction there. And a lot of friction there. Okay, so let's try 30 again, because that's definitely loose and floppy. And let's try the other one, 17 or 16, 17. Okay, that's not as much play as we had with the 30. So we're pretty sure that our second number is 30. I mean, our third number is 30. So we have 1 or 2 for the first one, and then we have 30 for this third number. So now to find the second number, we're just going to do trial and error. So let's spin the dial, reset the lock again. And so that's 1, 2, 3. So let's go to 1.5, since we got 1 and 2 as possibilities. And so now we turn the lock counterclockwise back to that point. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move, like so right here in a gate. I'm going to move to the next gate, and then I'm going to go to 30, which is our third number, and test it. That was not it. So now I'm going to go back. Our gate was here, so we're going to go one more gate, and then go back to 30. Test it. Nope, not it. So we're going to go one more gate. We're at 10 and go back to 30 and not it. Okay, so we're going to go back. There's 10. Next gate is it's like 13. Go back to 30. Not it. Next gate after 13 is here. So that's 16, 17. And go back to 30. Not it. So that was 16, 17, right? So next gate is here at 20. And we're going to go back and try 30. And oh, we got the open. Look at that celebratory swivel. Okay, so now let's look at our combination. And our combination is 2, 20, 30. So our 1.5, we got the number 2 using the clockwise method, and we got the number 1 using the counterclockwise method. But 2 is what it was, so 2, 20, 30. And that is how you open one of these master locks by touch and feel. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, remember to drop a like and leave a comment or a question below. If you're new here, subscribe and ring the notification bell for more content like this. Until the next video, happy picking y'all.